Master the art of thinking. This is how successful people think. What if I told you that everything you're living today is not the result of chance, fate, or external circumstances, but the faithful outcome of a silent pattern that repeats in your mind? What if you realized that the life you see outside is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the most intimate thoughts within you? Think about it for a moment. It's not what happens to you that defines your life. It's how you think about what happens that shapes your destiny. Circumstances are nothing more than the canvas, but the brush, the color, and the intention are always held by your mind. Since ancient times, this truth has been repeated by sages, philosophers, spiritual leaders, and scientists alike. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." Earl Nightingale, in his legendary audio The Strangest Secret, declared firmly, "We become what we think about." And the Bible in Proverbs 23:7 states it clearly, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." This is not a pretty phrase for a coffee mug. It is a universal law. What you think, thinks you, and what thinks you, creates you. Neville Goddard said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." And Bob Proctor used to say, "It's not what's outside that determines your life, but what's inside you. Because your mind is the root of everything, and what is planted at the root, sooner or later, blooms on the surface. If you plant fear, you'll harvest scarcity. If you plant complaints, you'll reap stagnation. But if you plant purpose, faith, gratitude, and vision, the entire universe will conspire to align with your evolution." This is not just another motivational message. This is a deep calling, an awakening, a reminder that you hold a dormant power waiting to be activated. The power to think differently, the power to think consciously, the power to imagine and create a life that is worthy of your soul. You don't need to fix yourself. You are not broken. You are not condemned to repeat the past. You are just one thought away from the love you deserve, from the abundance you dream of, from the highest version of yourself. And today, you're going to remember how to use the most powerful weapon in the universe, your conscious mind. Welcome to a new way of thinking. Welcome to a new life that begins within you. This is Crecimiento Consciente. The law of mental equivalent. There is an invisible law, a law as powerful as gravity, but it operates in the realm of the mind. The law of mental equivalent says that everything you experience outside has an internal cause, that you cannot hold in your hands what you haven't first held in your mind. Your main responsibility in this life is not to work harder than anyone else. It's not to run without direction or wear yourself out trying to achieve something. It is to create a clear, vibrant, and powerful image in your mind of the result you want to live. Do you want health? Then don't just avoid getting sick. Visualize your body as healthy. Vibrate with energy. Feel vital. Now. Do you want abundance? Don't just fight scarcity. Create within yourself a prosperous identity, worthy, capable of receiving and sustaining blessings. Do you want love? Don't beg for affection. Become love. Be love. Live from wholeness, and you will attract from the soul. Because you cannot attract what you haven't clearly defined within. The universe does not respond to vague wishes. It responds to clear vibration. And that vibration is born from conscious and sustained thought. Your mind is like a projector. It does not show what you hope for. It shows what you are already seeing inside. And if inside there is chaos, doubt, fear, or confusion, that very energy will seep into every corner of your reality. But if within you, you cultivate a firm, luminous, elevated vision, then you are creating an invisible mold for the universe to fill with visible events. James Allen said it in his work, "As a man thinketh." All that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. And neuroscience confirms it. When you visualize with detail, emotion, and repetition, the brain activates the same neural networks as if you were truly experiencing that moment. In other words, your body does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what physically happens. That's why every sustained thought is an architectural blueprint. Every mental image, a seed of destiny. Don't live by reaction. Live by creation. Don't repeat what has already been. Create what has not yet come to be. And remember this: the only way to attract something great is by becoming the version of you who already has it. The law of correspondence. As within, so without. These 5 words contain a truth that can either free your soul or keep you trapped in an unconscious cycle. It depends on how you understand and apply them. The law of correspondence says that the reality you see is only a reflection of the state of your inner world. Everything you live externally, your relationships, your finances, your health, even your emotions and blocks, are not accidents or coincidences. They are mirrors. Faithful reflections of what you think, what you feel, and what you believe you deserve at the deepest level. Just as water reflects the face of the one who looks into it, life reflects your mind and your heart. Try it. Change your attitude and your relationships change. Raise your energy and your environment responds. Speak with love within, and your body begins to heal. Stop judging yourself, and the world will stop judging you too. Because change doesn't begin outside. It begins in the silence of your consciousness, in that inner dialogue no one hears, but which shapes everything around you. Neuroscience confirms it. Your inner dialogue influences the chemistry of your body. Positive thoughts release dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Negative thoughts increase cortisol and weaken the immune system. Jesus expressed it in Matthew 23:26. First, clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside also will be clean. He wasn't just talking about external cleanliness, he was talking about inner transformation. Life is not a stage to conquer. It is a garden that responds to the inner gardener you are. Plant elevated thoughts. Water your emotions with gratitude, and you'll see how the world begins to reflect a more beautiful version of you. As Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. The law of belief. There is a silent force that directs your every step, an invisible root that supports your decisions, your habits, your limits, and your dreams. That force is called belief. Because you don't live according to what you desire, you live according to what you believe is possible for you. The law of belief states that everything you believe with emotion and repeat with conviction becomes your reality. It doesn't matter what you say with your mouth, what you shout in an affirmation, or what you post on social media. What matters is what your soul accepts as truth. If deep down you believe you're not worthy, your mind will reject every opportunity, even if it's right in front of you. If you believe you can't, Not even all the knowledge in the world will help you. But if you believe you're destined for something greater, there will be no wall you can't climb, no night you can't get through. Your mind works like a filter. It blocks out everything that doesn't align with your current beliefs. It's like a gatekeeper that only lets in what your system considers normal, safe, and realistic. And here lies the challenge. Most of our beliefs weren't chosen. They were inherited, adopted in childhood, planted by other people's words, by trauma, rejection, or unresolved fear. But here's the good news. Every belief can be questioned, rewritten, and replaced. The real question isn't, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, what do I believe about myself that is keeping me from achieving it? What if today you questioned everything that limits your growth? What if that fear of failure is just an illusion someone else taught you? What if that "I'm not enough" is just an old voice you can silence? Ask yourself with honesty, who would I be if I had no fear? What would I dare to do? Who would I love? What version of me would emerge if I removed the invisible chains I've put on myself? As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And Jesus said in Mark 9:23, everything is possible for the one who believes. So today, I invite you to plant a new root. The belief that you are worthy, capable, and chosen. The certainty that you are not your mistakes, nor your doubts, nor your past. You are a creator, and what you create begins with what you believe. The law of motivation. Behind every decision, every word, every step you take, there's a silent force moving you. A spark that propels you or holds you back. That force is called motivation. The law of motivation says that everything you do is driven by internal desires. Sometimes they are clear, but many times they're unconscious. It's not just about what you say you want. It's about what you truly long for in the depths of your soul. You may say you want success, but if there is a stronger desire within you to be accepted or to avoid rejection, your true motivation will steer you away from that success. Many people live trapped in goals that don't even belong to them. They chase what others approve of. They follow the social script, but inside, they are empty. Because the soul only lights up when there's coherence between what you do and what you truly love. Sustained success doesn't come from forced discipline. It comes from aligned passion. It comes from having a why so strong that the how becomes inevitable. Ask yourself honestly, why do I do what I do? What am I really trying to satisfy? Am I living from love or from fear? Am I motivated by expansion or by escape? True motivation can't be bought, taught, or imposed. It must be discovered. It ignites from within. And to find it, you must dare to look inside yourself with courage. Neuroscience shows that when someone acts from their authentic why, the brain's reward system is activated. Dopamine increases. Focus improves. Resilience rises. Because when you know why you're doing something, you can endure any challenge. Friedrich Nietzsche said it well. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. So a truly motivated life is not the one that runs fastest. It's the one that runs in the direction the soul is calling for. So today, I invite you to pause, to take a deep breath, and to ask yourself, is what I'm doing born from fear or from love? Is it pulling me away from myself or bringing me closer to who I really am? Because when your actions align with your values and your goals align with your soul, nothing can stop you. The law of consequence. There is a law that does not judge, punish, forgive, or condemn. It simply responds. It is called the law of consequence, and its message is clear. Every action you take, and every action you choose not to take, has a consequence. Nothing in this life happens without leaving a mark. Every word, every thought, every decision is a seed planted in the field of time, and sooner or later, it bears fruit. What you do today builds, or destroys, your tomorrow. And often, what you choose to ignore, postpone, or avoid leaves deeper marks than what you dared to face. The universe does not reward your intentions. It rewards your coherence, your aligned action, your commitment to growth. Wanting something is not enough. You have to move toward it. And avoiding something is not harmless. Avoidance is also a choice, and every choice creates a result. The habit you repeat, the conversation you postpone, the "I'll do it tomorrow" that becomes routine. All of that builds your reality, brick by brick. And it's easy to blame luck, fate, or others. But the truth is harsher and more liberating. Your life is the echo of your past choices. Science backs this up. Neuroplasticity shows that every repeated action reshapes the brain, strengthens neural connections, and creates patterns that, over time, become automatic. In other words, your actions not only affect your future, they shape who you are becoming. Galatians 6:7 says it with timeless wisdom, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." And that sowing includes your silences, your excuses, your "I can't," your "maybe later." Each of them carries weight. So ask yourself this powerful question: what am I planting today with my decisions? And am I willing to harvest their fruit tomorrow? Because even when you do nothing, life is doing something with that. The law of subconscious activity. There is a part of you that never sleeps. A silent intelligence that absorbs, processes, and executes commands, even if you're not aware of it. That part is your subconscious mind. The law of subconscious activity teaches that when you program your subconscious with intention and clarity, it begins to reconfigure your entire being, your body, your decisions, your energy, even what you perceive in the world, to guide you directly toward your goal. It's not magic. It's internal coding. It's divine design. As soon as you introduce a clear, emotionally charged image into your subconscious mind, a filtering system in your brain is activated, the Reticular Activating System, RAS. And from that moment, your entire being enters search mode. Your focus sharpens, your body language changes, your energy begins to speak before you do. According to studies from the University of California, 93% of your communication is nonverbal. That means that before you say a single word, your subconscious has already communicated your level of certainty, security, confidence, or doubt. And how does it do that? Through your posture, your gaze, your tone of voice, the way you breathe, the way you walk through life. And all of that has its origin in what you've planted in your deepest mind. You can say, "I'm fine," but if your subconscious believes you're broken, your body will scream it in every gesture. You can affirm, "I'm successful," but if you doubt it inside, your energy will betray you. The subconscious mind cannot lie. It can only replicate. Joe Dispenza explains it masterfully The subconscious controls 95% of our daily life. And until you reprogram it, you'll keep living the same day, thinking it's a different life. And Romans 12:2 confirms it through faith. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. External transformation begins with internal reprogramming. So, if you want to change your world, don't start outside. Start by re-educating your subconscious. Fill it with images of faith, with powerful affirmations, with clear visualizations. Give it a map, and it will move mountains to get you there. Because your subconscious doesn't doubt. It doesn't reason. It doesn't question. It simply obeys. And when you speak to it with emotion and certainty, it becomes your most faithful ally. The law of expectation. There is a law that acts like a silent magnet. It doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your inner frequency. It's called the law of expectation, and it says clearly, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you expect. And that simple difference changes everything, because everyone desires. Everyone wants peace, love, abundance, success, but very few train themselves to expect it with certainty. Very few wake up each morning knowing the best is on its way. And here's the secret. Your life doesn't move in the direction of vague dreams. It moves in the direction of embodied faith. What you expect, you project. What you project, you provoke. And what you provoke, you create. Neuroscience supports this. When the brain sustains a positive expectation, it begins releasing dopamine and serotonin, improving your emotional state and your physical performance. Your cells react. Your body language shifts. You begin to vibrate like someone who is already blessed. And the most beautiful part? You can train for this. You can educate yourself to expect the best. You can speak as if the miracle is already on the way. Walk as if the universe is conspiring in your favor. Smile as if your prayer has already been answered. That's practical faith. That's aligning your expectation with the greatness God has prepared for you. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us. Faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. That's what transforms lives. Not passive faith that sits and waits, but active faith that moves as if it were already done. So today I ask you, from the heart, what are you truly expecting? Are you expecting problems or solutions? Closed doors or open miracles? Train yourself to expect the best. Breathe with trust. Walk as someone who carries promises inside, and in time, the universe will begin to respond to that vibration with absolute precision. Because remember, what you expect is already expecting you. The law of concentration and habit. Life doesn't transform in grand moments. It transforms in the thoughts you repeat when no one is watching. In the decisions you make in silence. In the seeds you cultivate daily within yourself. The law of concentration and habit reveals a simple but powerful truth. Whatever you think about with emotion becomes part of you. If you frequently think about gratitude, gratitude will grow in your heart. If you think about courage, bravery will ignite in your actions. And if you think about abundance, your soul will begin to walk as someone who already lives in fullness. Because what you contemplate with your mind expands its presence within you. And when you repeat those thoughts, when you put them into action, when you embody them in your daily gestures, a habit is born. And habits don't just shape your day, they shape your destiny. Neuroscience confirms it. Every repeated thought reinforces synaptic connections. That means every time you repeat an action or thought, you give physical form to a new neural network. The more you think about something, the easier it becomes to think it again. And over time, what once felt like effort becomes automatic. Your mind gets programmed. Your body adapts. Your life responds. That's why you must never underestimate the power of a small action repeated with intention. A daily prayer, a gratitude thought upon waking, an affirmation in the mirror, an act of discipline when no one sees. These invisible habits are the bricks with which you build your new identity. Galatians 6:9 encourages us. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And Brian Tracy said it clearly. Form good habits, and they will form your future. So don't focus only on changing your life. Focus on planting thoughts and actions that, over time, will transform it from the root. Because your life won't change through a dramatic act of will. It will change when you cultivate a focused mind, a grateful heart, and a body aligned with action. And that begins today. The law of attraction, resonance. Your thoughts are not just ideas passing through your mind. They are living energy. They are frequency. They are vibration. And like all energy in the universe, that vibration attracts what resonates in the same frequency. The law of attraction, or more precisely, the law of resonance, says that what you think and feel with strong emotion becomes a silent magnet. It's an energetic field that, even if you don't see it, is attracting people, situations, opportunities, or even obstacles that vibrate in the same tone. Think of this. If you strike the C note on a piano, and there's another piano in the room, the corresponding string on the second piano will vibrate without anyone touching it, simply due to resonance. That's what happens in life. You emit an emotional tone all the time, and the universe responds with events that echo that tone. If you vibrate in fear, you'll attract scenarios that reinforce fear. If you vibrate in love, faith, gratitude, you'll attract experiences that expand that energy. Quantum physics confirms it. Thoughts generate real electromagnetic fields, and those fields influence matter, outcomes, and human interactions. But here's the most powerful part. You can change your vibration, you can retune your inner instrument. And when you do, everything starts to resonate differently. Notice how we naturally vibrate with those who think like us. We feel drawn to certain people, ideas, or places. Not by chance, but because there's energetic resonance. Jesus said in Matthew 7:16, "By their fruits you will recognize them." And those fruits are the result of vibrational roots. Bob Proctor used to say, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are." And that's the great invitation of this law. Don't try to change your life from the surface. Change your frequency. Because the life you're seeking already exists at a higher frequency than the one you're used to living at. And you'll only find it when you rise to meet it. Elevate your thoughts, tune your heart, and watch how the entire universe begins to respond in harmony. Optimism and change. People who achieve great things are not those who had an easy path. They're not the ones born lucky. They're the ones who chose a powerful attitude even amid uncertainty. Successful people are usually optimistic. Not because everything goes their way, but because they expect everything, somehow, to serve their purpose. Optimism is not naivety. It's faith in action. It's choosing to see the light even when the sky is cloudy. As Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him." Even the things that hurt, even the ones you don't yet understand. And amidst all of it, there's a law you cannot ignore. The law of change. Everything changes. Everything evolves. Everything moves. The only constant is change. The question isn't, will life change? The real question is, will I change first? Because you can't stop the wind, but you can adjust the sails. If you change, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your perception shifts. And when you change, you begin to influence your surroundings. So stop waiting for the world to change so you can start shining. Shine first. Change first. Believe first. And you'll see how the external world begins to reorganize itself to reflect your new vibration. Wayne Dyer said it wisely. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So today, decide to be the change you want to see. Decide to lead your own evolution. And when the storm comes, remember, you are not alone. You are guided, supported, and prepared. Because when you change, the world transforms with you. The breaking point. Personal choice. Sometimes a person's life changes because of a simple spark. An average young man with no clear direction, dreams buried beneath the noise of routine, with wounds so old he no longer remembers how they were made. Lives each day repeating what he learned without questioning it. He survives. But one day, something happens. He hears an audio, reads a quote, attends a seminar. And in the middle of the ordinary, something lights up. It wasn't coincidence. It was an appointment with his soul. He begins to question everything he thought was unchangeable. Why do I think the way I think? Why do I act the way I act? Who was I before fear shaped me? He starts to wake up, clarify his values. Imagine possibilities he once called madness. And when he aligns with these laws of success, when he understands that his mind, his faith, and his vibration are the steering wheel of his life, everything changes. Not instantly, but irreversibly, because once consciousness expands, it cannot return to its former shape, and then his life begins to take off. His vision becomes clear. Opportunities appear where once there were walls. Connections that resonate with his purpose arrive effortlessly. And synchronicity replaces struggle. And there's the breaking point. It all began with a decision. That young man could be you. You who are listening to this now. You who feel there's more within you than you're expressing. You who know you were made for something greater, deeper, brighter. This is your moment. The universe didn't bring you here by accident. This message isn't random. It's a key. And only you can decide whether to use it to unlock the door to your next level. Because on the other side, there is no magic. There is law, there is commitment. And above all, there is a version of you waiting to be activated. You are not broken. You are under construction, and what's being born within you is great. So today, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. And ask yourself with a quiet heart, am I thinking like the person I want to become, or like the person I'm afraid of remaining? Because that single thought can open the door to a whole new destiny. you decide, and your mind obeys. It doesn't matter what you were. What matters is what you choose to think, believe, and build starting today. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. Change will not come from the outside. Change begins within you, and it begins now. If this message resonated with you, if something inside you was stirred, ignited, or awakened, subscribe to our channel and share this video with someone else who needs this reminder. Do it because every conscious act creates invisible waves. Do it because right now, while you choose to grow, you are inspiring others to remember their own power. Activate the bell and join us on this journey of inner awakening, because here, every week, we strengthen your mind, your faith, and your purpose. Remember, it's not just about learning, it's about transforming. It's not just about knowing, it's about embodying. This is your space for transformation. This is your sanctuary of wisdom. This is your training ground for mind, soul, and destiny. If this message spoke to your soul, like, share, and subscribe. Because here, at Rise and Transform, we awaken the power already within you. Until next time, keep rising, keep transforming,